Hello, I think we're here now.
Hello, I think we're here
Oh,
now.
shut up. Shut up. I don't need to hear you over there. All right, is this one going to do that too? Yeah, okay. That one you probably didn't hear because it was quieter. So mute, mute, mute. Can he ever start one of these correctly? I'm making a note for myself that I just realized I need to do. Making a note on my calendar on my phone for something I need to take care of. Put in the time for that. Good, almost. So, I have not heard back from Bertland. So, I'm guessing he's not going to be here today. And it seems to me I heard some things about some weather issues that they were having in Jamaica. I'm not sure if I recall that correctly. Last week, neither he nor I were able to make the show. He wasn't feeling well, and I was up at the cabin. So here's let's AVDW. Watch is going down on the table. And I need to hear from the chat whether the audio and visual is okay. And if somebody could test the DVR, I already set that up. I see 5 watching now. Before I turned on the live stream, I think it said 7 or 8. And I know one of those, let's see, who was it? Sane Goat was going out to the garden for a while. So I'm guessing he's not back yet. I'm assuming Sane Goat is male. I don't know why you think that. Ada says AVD is good. Ken says all good. So I've got, get a load of this. Remember when some of you know that part of what got me to realize how I wanted to do a YouTube channel was by discovering Carrie Holzman's channel and being able to do videos unscripted, unedited, and just show the real activity of a computer consultant or a computer technician. Well, as I was approaching today and I realized that Bertland might not be here for us, I actually wrote up a script. Here's what I call a script. See, it says right at the top there, script, and has today's date. And well, that's not really a script. Those are subjects that I think would make, any of those would make for interesting conversation. Now, Ken Stout is in the chat, and he has is wanting to do a session or at least a question about how I do. I think what he's asking about is how I make thumbnails appear on a scheduled live stream. So, Ken, maybe you're interested in doing that today. And then also I thought another thing that I could do is open up the Zoom for anyone who wants to come in and just visit on topics. I'm going to read over those topics kind of quickly, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and paste the credentials for the Zoom session into the chat. And you should be able to just click on that link or use the credentials, the meeting ID and the passcode to come in and say hello face to face. I would enjoy that. And some people, I think there's been 1 or 2 people that have suggested that I open up the Zoom for other people to come in. I've tried that in the past, quite a while ago, and I don't think I had any takers. No, I think I had 1 taker. Yeah. So anyway, there's that in the chat. If you want to come in and talk, then just go ahead and come in. I'll hear the doorbell, and I've got the sound muted. So if you speak up, I'll hear you through the speakers, but you're not going to come straight through to the YouTube. So I don't think we're going to have the echoing until I put my earpieces in and so on. So anyway, this list of subjects. There's a UPS incident to talk about. There's games on Chrome OS, those all-in-one computers. Update you about that. Oh, there's the doorbell. Okay, hang on, whoever's there. There's a doorbell. Okay, hang on, whoever's there. Oh, let's see. Okay, so you're coming through. I'm gonna turn off the speakers there so that you're not coming through just yet, and I'll come in and catch up with you in just a minute, whoever you are there, because I don't know who you are yet. Tech Tales could update you about what I'm planning to do with Tech Tales. Trolls, there's a particular plan or idea that I'd like to pursue with Trolls. There's premieres that I'm intending to do. I'm converting a client from a local server to SharePoint, so that's coming up. There's Ryan's laptop. That's the laptop that I had in a live stream where the client said that the only way to get it to start up is to shake it. And when I tried to demonstrate that in a live stream, it worked perfectly. Never did get to be able to recreate that symptom. I returned that laptop to him yesterday. So there's nothing really new to report on that, just to give you the ending of that. And then there's a laptop that I had on a recent live stream that had that weird sign-in prompt. You get to the Windows login and it had the word sign in, and you click on that, and we waited another 30 seconds or so before it would come up with a password prompt, and then it was that weird window password prompt. I've done more work on that. I tried to figure out what was making that happen, and then just wound up, Dad, forget it, and I did a wipe and reload on that. Nuke and pave, whatever you want to call it. I returned that computer to him yesterday, so that's what happened with that one. Joellen received her Chromebook yesterday. When I talked with my brothers last night in our every Friday Zoom session, they said she hadn't opened it yet. Scott, her son, was wanting to talk about work with us on getting a new computer. We don't know what step's going to happen next with that. Apparently he's looking at some other alternative there. There was a RAM upgrade that I did recently. I had two identical laptops for a client. I had to disassemble one and do a RAM upgrade on it. It involved removing the heatsink and redoing the thermal compound. I made a video of it. I haven't published that yet. It needs a little bit of editing. I had a multimeter that went bad on me, and I thought it'd be fun to show how that went bad. I ordered a replacement. When I did that, I also ordered a battery tester that would be easier for testing these coin cell batteries. Power meter, I've been wanting to do some experiments with a power meter where plug device in there and see how much it's taking. There's a UPS that went bad and a whole story about that. This is replacing the batteries in the UPS. I guess I shouldn't say the UPS went bad, it's the batteries that went bad, but there's a whole story behind how that happened, and that was a remote tech support while I was up at the cabin. And then there was a fireplace scam that I actually lost $28 in a fireplace scam recently. Okay, so that's my list of stuff, and maybe we'll talk about some of those today, maybe not, but let's go see who is on Zoom. Now, let's see, I'm going to turn it over here, and I do see a image there, so I'm going to unmute that. Oh, I got to put my earpieces in first. All right. I can't turn your audio on until I get my Zoom audio fixed up. Then we'll go see who that is. Who's the mystery caller? Oh, what was that old show? Mystery guest sign in. What's my line? I think that's what it was. If you're not impressed that I remembered that, I am. All right, here's that wire. I used to have to go around the corner to change this over. There, got that. See, I haven't seen anything in chat since I put in that Zoom code. That's interesting. So let's punch over here to Zoom. And there's somebody. and unmuted and unmute here, and let's get a volume check. Can I hear you? Speak to me. No, I'm not hearing you. There you are. Try that. Oh, I saw you come off Zoom, but I'm still not here, or off of mute, but I'm still not hearing you. Now it says you're not muted. Check your microphone setting.
Now can you hear?
Yes.
Had my microphone muted on the cord.
Oh, okay.
Hello from Las Vegas. It's Jeff Ryman.
Hello, Jeff Ryman. So pleased to meet you. Now let's see. I've got everything coming through. All right. Give us an audio check for Jeff in the chat, please. And Jeff Ryman from Las Vegas, did you say, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on your map when you start up your...
You are on the map. I thought so. I was thinking so because I absolutely recognize your name. In fact...
Well, I've been following you since Kerry Holzman recommended you way back.
All right. Well, I heard him again mention me yesterday. Yeah, when he was on his what was it? I hate to say
He
the
and
number.
Mitch had a build of some type.
Yeah, he was working on a build, and he also had just achieved a certain number.
350,000.
Yeah, 350,000. And when I first started having direct interaction with him, he was at 343,000. So I'm thinking that was January. So if so, then that means he's grown about 1,000 subscribers per month. And at that time, I said that I was at 1% of his subscribers, and now I'm close to 1,000. So that if I was still at 1%, then that means I would be at 350. So that means I'm growing faster than the 1% of his growth. But still, he's growing 1,000 per month. The number of subscribers I have total right now, he's growing that each month. I'll get there. Jeff, so you've made a number of significant contributions in chat. I recall that. What is your background? What do you do?
I'm a retired nuclear engineer, but I did a lot of computing on the side. Just out of necessity, I turned out to be sort of a computer guy for some of the places I worked in.
All right. So did you develop into computers as they became present in your occupation?
Well, I started with mainframes back in 1966.
All right.
And
Awesome.
then got into PCs around 1987.
All right. Awesome. Is it possible to turn your camera down a little bit so you're not, I feel like I have to.
Well, I've got this little camera that sits on the desk. So.
All right. Yeah, when you were sitting back like that, I felt like I needed to go up in my chair trying to get a better
Sorry
angle
about
on
that.
you.
I need something to sit it on to raise it up a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, but getting it to eye level, if that's possible, it always looks better than looking at the ceiling.
Yeah, this is a little Microsoft camera I bought several years ago.
All right.
I need a new one. That's why I'd asked you in one of the comments about what kind you were using there.
Ah, all right. Yeah.
This
Well,
is on
actually,
a desktop computer, so I have a laptop, but it's being rebuilt at the software is being rebuilt at the moment. The whole thing crashed on me about 2 weeks ago, and said it couldn't find anything to boot from, and something just happened with the format of it. So I've reinstalled Windows 10, and I'm gradually putting back all the other software that's on there.
So you probably are experiencing similar heat that Kerry is.
Not quite as bad as Arizona.
Not as bad.
Usually 2 or 3 degrees lower than the Phoenix area.
Yeah. Seems to me, I think we're expecting kind of high heat today here.
Last week we had several highs under 100, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. What are we looking at today? Don't even. Oh, that don't look. Wait a minute. Are you kidding? Oh, I'm looking at Huntington Lake on my phone. That's where the cabin is that I've been at recently. Yeah, 102 today. So, not as bad as it has been. And then I see
projected high today is 106.
Yep, I got 106 for Sunday, Monday. Yeah, just Sunday and Monday. We're looking at 106. Ay, caramba.
And then by the first of the week, we're going to be under 100. Looks like most of the rest of the week from Tuesday on.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so checking back at chat, Gary says the sound is good. That would have been after you came on. And Gary, I think, is at 4 o'clock his time, really? Where is he at? The East Coast would be 3 o'clock. I thought he was East Coast. And so I'm going to go bring this back. Oh, let me fix a couple settings here so that I can switch to my computer number 2 and have you on. So I've got to fix my picture-in-picture so that it includes you, and then switch over to computer number 2, and there that includes. So and shrink that down a little bit, and there we go. So move that out that way a little bit. And let's see, Ken, I'm behind neighbors, stopped over. What have I missed? Well, I guess what you've missed is that Bertland's not here. I have not heard from him today. Ken to Gary, that's chit chat. I thought it was old. I guess that's probably chit chat. And giving them away. And no, 4 o'clock was Carrie on Friday. I guess that was in response to somebody else. Okay, so nothing else there. Was there anything specific you wanted to talk about, or are you just coming on to say hello and let us know?
Just showing up to say hello. Don't have any.
All right. All right, great. Well, if anyone else wants to jump in, you're certainly welcome to. I'm going to look back at my list and talk a little more about follow-up to some things that you have seen on my channel before. The all-in-one PCs. I have 5 of those all-in-one PCs, and I set them up with games. Do you remember that, Jeff?
Yep.
Yeah. So what happened with
the ones in the HUD building?
Yeah.
Service.
Right. There are 2. There's actually 3 different apartment buildings supported by HUD, but only 2 of them that have these, what I call resident computers. And we went through some troubles with getting the Microsoft Store to work. And then I got those computers populated with, I think it was 65 games. So full of icons. And I made images of those and restored them to the other computers. And then I went back and relaunched a game, and the game would not launch at all. Well, it would start it would show a screen, and then that screen would just go away back to the desktop. And tried another one, tried on another computer, got the same thing, tried repairing the store, tried resetting the games. The only thing that would fix it was to actually go reinstall each game. And that's totally unacceptable. And the computers had not done an update, because I had changed the advanced update settings to prevent them from doing an update until a date that was like 5 weeks out, something like that is what you can do it, set them for. So I had no explanation why they weren't working. And I already didn't like the way the store games were working anyway, because they had all kinds of advertisements. Some of them wouldn't work very well. So the thing that I'm thinking about now, toying around with, is installing Chrome operating system on those computers and using the Google Play Store for games and see how that goes. So I did a little checking on that, and that's a viable option at the moment. So that just gives everybody an update and gives people who are in the know about installing Chrome OS a chance to chime in about that. When I looked at the instructions for that, it looks like it involves using Linux to install the Chrome OS, and the Chrome OS appears to be some kind of maybe a distribution of, I don't think it's actually a distro of Linux, but anyway. I was thinking that might be an option that becomes more and more available for computers that are, not going to be compatible for Windows 11. Jeff, were you with us in the last live stream where we had a lot of troubles with a troll?
No.
Oh.
I missed that one.
Oh, yeah. We had a troll that just coming back with some really inappropriate comments and requests and such, and we wound up I wound up blocking her from the channel, and I have done some other thinking since then about variations on how to go about trolls. And then Kerry mentioned in his live stream yesterday that he turned off the subscriber requirement, the length of time subscribers for people to come into the chat on his channel, and he said that he thought that the chat room was missing the action because seems like they were enjoying stamping out the trolls. I didn't get to watch all of that episode, so I don't know if the trolls came and made a presence there. But anyway, I have some thoughts on dealing with that. Yeah, there it is. Sango is asking about Rashida. Here I brought the chat back up. Jeff, are you watching the YouTube stream as well as being on Zoom, or are you just...
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
actually just watching myself on what you...
Oh, you're just watching, so you're seeing a little bit of delay. Yeah, so Sango is asking, where is Rashida? So Rashida is the one that was saying some very inappropriate things in chat. Well, I blocked her, and then I went and did a little investigation. So I'm going to go ahead and show the investigation. Let's punch over to computer number 3. Oops, I got to make an adjustment on that one, because I had that last, apparently I had that last set up for an HDMI input. So to adjust for that, I'll go to Lenovo 3, and for a moment you're just going to see a really weird picture-in-picture of me, and then, or actually no, you're not going to see any picture, that's right. So I got to go reconfigure that video input, because right now it's trying to show an HDMI input, and I switch it to VGA so that it'll go through the VGA cable that's connected to that capture device, and now it should come up. There it is. So there's my computer number 3, and then I should be able to bring in the picture-in-picture, and that is showing, not showing the two of us. So let's turn off camera 2 from there and bring in the source called PIP for picture-in-picture. There it is. Move it to the right location. Crop that window. And then increase the size of it a little bit. Okay, so there's some backstage stuff nobody wanted to watch. So here, Rashida Miller Carter. I went to her channel, and here's what I find on her channel. Joined May 3rd, 2021. Now, I have gone to look at at the channel information for other trolls before. This is not usually what I find. My name is Rashida. I'm a wife and mother who is proud digital business owner. I live in Texas, USA. Been registered nurse over 14 years and has always loved to help others. My desire to spend more time with my family, my passion for helping others has led me to become a digital business owner. This business has allowed me to be flexible and do the things I love the most. For more information, register on my website with your name and valid email address. The road to success awaits. She's got a link here for a free webinar. And that link takes us to her website, which is here. And there's nothing to do, nowhere I think actually that you get on her website until you actually complete this form and sign up for her program, essentially, or for a free seminar, which I have not done. But what this makes me think and suspect, because troll channels usually don't have this much content, and since this is fairly new, I'm wondering if her channel's been hijacked by a troll, is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that probably wasn't her. And then in videos, she has one video, and it's basically a 16-second long greeting, and it's promoting her program for social media marketing. My guess is that her channel's been hijacked, and it wasn't her at all. So then that makes me think that really I think I'm pretty satisfied with just having her blocked from my channel. The next thing more severe to do would be to go report her channel to YouTube as being abusive. The other thing, what I'd really love to do, and I kind of thought about this because I did find what I think is her on Facebook. There's Facebook and there's LinkedIn, but there's more than one Rashida Miller out there. So I don't know if it's really her, but what I really love to do is help her reclaim her channel. I know that can be really difficult to do if you haven't put in proper two-factor authentication and ways to recover your channel, but that would be awesome to get direct contact with her for that. Let's do a little catch-up in chat here. Let's see, there's a chit-chat. Gary, it was fun, sorry. Ken says, I will email you on the moving screensaver in a bit. Okay, I think he went on the hunt for a screensaver that's similar to what I have on my Mac over here. Her website seems like some scam. So yeah, and that occurred to me too. That thought occurred to me too. Is this website of hers, since there's absolutely nothing here of actual value that she's given away, it could be a complete scam where once you put in your name and your email, then maybe she follows up with something else, and maybe she's walking you down the road, or it could be anybody, it may not be her, but if it is a scam, it could be walk you down the road to where you wind up paying some money for what allegedly is a digital marketing program, and then it's just total scam, because there isn't much here of apparent substance. It's just all looks like hype. Even these right here, they look like they should be clickable, but they're not clickable. And then down here you get to these, what people are saying, these testimonials. Nothing is in there is clickable. This could just be total BS. Now here, let's try this. I'm going to take this photo right here and search Google for image. So I'm going to search Google for that image and see if this person just took an image of a couple that's out there somewhere. Sure enough, I think that looks like it. Let's see this. yeah, this looks like images of that couple that are just out there on the web. So let's try this one. Right click and then search Google for image. Yeah, that one's out there too. Search Google for image. Yeah. Let's see, no other sizes of this image found. Visually similar images. Now I'm questioning myself whether this has actually taken that image from here and is displaying that back to us. Oh, wedding. Wedding PNG, happy. So I think it's actually showing us where that came from. Yeah, I think that is showing us that those are just taken from some other place. Supporting the idea that it may be a scam. Ada, wow, you drive her to the edge. Harambe, after signing up, it asked for 150 USD. So Harambe tried signing up. It asked for $150 right away upon signing up. Someone used her identity as an alt. I think so. Picture-in-picture is in CPM Peripheral Interchange Program. I'm not... Peripheral Interchange Program. I'm not sure the significance of that. Her pages look like YouTube. Her website pages look like YouTube. Yeah, so anyway, still thinking that does not look legit. Oh, well, let's see. I'm going to wait on bringing you back up on Zoom. You're adjusting your camera there, I guess. And I haven't heard you for a while either, Jeff. Are you muted?
I'm still here, just watching.
All right. Well, again, if anyone else wants to jump in and say hello in Zoom, you're welcome to. The Zoom credentials are showing at 12:03 in the chat window. I think you can all scroll up to that. I am curious. Well, I've had some thoughts about what I'd like to do with what I'm interested in doing with trolls to take a stronger stance against them and actually get their channels taken down and actually kind of try to take a new kind of a I can't think of it. Jim, what's Jim's last name? The scam buster. Of course, Jim's not his real name. Oh, how can I not think of his name? But anyway, I have some thoughts about taking a harder stance against trolls by utilizing some of the people who in chat who are interested. Jim Browning, thank you, Harambe. Yeah, so the idea basically along the lines is when we come across somebody who is trolling, for those of you who are moderators, you have the capability of hiding that person. I have the capability of blocking them from the channel, hiding the user from the channel, and that hides them everywhere. Takes all of their comments down, whether they're in comments, as I understand, takes their comments down from comments and videos and from all of their chat and prevents them from coming back at all. So I can I can grant those rights to subscribers on my channel. That's more than being a moderator. But then in addition to that, I'd like to investigate those channels and then go report them as abusive channels to YouTube and see if we can get their channels actually taken down. because these trolls, when they get blocked from a channel, they can just go ahead and use that channel of theirs to go somewhere else and continue trolling. And it's more, we're giving them more stress by, if we can actually take their channels down, so they have to go through the routine of setting up another channel. I don't know if that's worth pursuing or not, but I found the idea intriguing. Ken Stout created the screensaver from, well, Gary's addressed me in that comment, and Ken Stout created the screensaver. And Gary, are you saying that you created a screensaver? Harambe asked if I've tested Windows 11 yet. No, I'm not. I just have no interest in it. It's, you know, something I'm curious about is we're told that it's Windows 11 is just Windows 10 with some adjustments and changes. Well, how come people are reporting so many bugs, so many troubles with it? And where I've really followed that is with Windows Weekly, and their uses of it, and I think also Security Now. I think Steve has been using it. Yeah, I just have no interest. I have no use case for it. The only things I'm interested is about in purchasing new computers for clients to be sure that they are Windows 11 capable. And yeah, so I guess I should stop yammering about that, because my answer is no. I have no interest in being a tester for it. When it comes out and is actually a useful product, I don't even have any reason to move my clients to it quickly, because it doesn't seem to offer anything advanced over Windows 10 until a computer is actually capable of, until it's on a computer that's capable of it, and then it's a little bit extra security. And that's really all my interest is in. What about you, Jeff? Have you done anything with Windows 11?
No, my laptop says it will accept it. The computer I'm on right now is quite old in terms of CPU, and it's not going to run Windows 11.
Yeah.
It's like fourth generation Intel, i7 or something like that.
Yeah, the computer I'm using for streaming, I know is not capable of it. And I'm not sure. I think a laptop I have is. I doubt that my computer 2 and 3 are. I have it in mind that I'm going to be upgrading my streaming computer at some point anyway. Anyone who's been following much, and right now you see at the bottom of my screen, the CPU utilization and GPU utilization on this computer, it struggles a bit. The numbers are higher when I have a Zoom call happening at the same time. So when I upgrade my streaming computer, it's probably going to be a whole new computer. I like the case that I have. All right, do you want to take a potential spam call? Let's see here. That microphone's on. It's from Lincoln, California. Hello, this is Doug.
Hi, this is Ava Jane. I'm with Community Spring, New California. Am I speaking with Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Douglas. This is your friendly neighbor, just informing you about the very important recall that's happening in our state, California, until now, until September 14th. Mr. Douglas, what's your current position on the recall? Maybe you knew about it, didn't, or maybe you have mixed feelings about it?
Recalling the governor, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's kind of pointless to recall him on this short.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, some people are definitely feeling this very unnecessary. We have so many other bigger issues to do, and we already voted for him, so.
Yeah.
Understood. I'm going to ask, will you be going out and voting for this recall?
I'll be doing a mail-in ballot. I'm going to have to hang up with you now. I've got somebody else here that I'm with right now.
Totally. Thank you for answering my question. Have a nice day, Mr. Douglas.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Bye. Well, the phone said it was a potential spam. election stuff. All right. And Harambe points out Windows 10 end of life is 2025, and that's what we know right now. October 2025, Microsoft has committed. They've been committed for a long time that they would support some version of Windows 10 all the way up to October 2025. They could extend it. I don't really care at this point whether they do or not. Tim Sal's here. Hi, Tim. I didn't really go through and say hello to people. Forgive me, but consider you're all helloed. And Harambe gives a laughing emoji. I guess that was, Harambe says I would consider that spam. Gary says, no, Ken did the screensavers. So, yeah, Ken was talking about something about having created screensavers. Anyway, what else do I want to talk about? Tech Tales, I've been dragging my feet on getting that started again. It's gonna come back in a little different style. I do like having a video come out every morning, but the struggle that I'm having with it is what I want to do is record that probably the day before. I might even start batching them. So that means I'm not going to be reporting what the day and time is each time. But at least some of the occasions, I'm thinking I want to publish them at 8 a.m. as a premiere. Do you know what a premiere is, Jeff?
Yes.
Yeah, so when I publish it at, 10 to 20 minute video like they have been, but I'm online and chat is open, and mainly there the thought is it's just that people, including myself, we can check in with each other, say hi, and so on. Probably not really talking about the content of that Tech Tales episode because it's not going to be interactive content. And then also that would be including videos and photos from the actual work. And I have videos and photos from that UPS situation that I had while I was up at the cabin and I was supporting them. I think that'll make a fun thing, but it's going to be a little more involved to create those videos. Yeah, so that's why, let's see, that takes care of the UPS subject on my list, and we've talked about trolls, and we talked about premieres, we got Zoom open, I talked about Tech Tales, and I talked about the Chrome OS. Hey, that gets me a bunch of check marks there that I've completed. All right, SharePoint is next on my list. You've heard, for those of you who are following Tech Tales, you heard me talking about the law office whiskey that kept filling up their email. And I would have to go because they had these huge attachments. They were emailing attachments to each other inter-office that were 10 to 40 megabytes in size. Just horrendously huge. And they were on an email system that had limits to how much email they could store. So I have moved them to Microsoft 365, and most of them are now working remotely, and they connect to their office computer through LogMeIn, and then they open their files that are stored on the server. Well, what I'm doing is I'm transferring their server stored files to SharePoint, so that from their remote computers, they can open those files directly off of SharePoint instead of having to connect remotely to the office. And I think that's going to give them better performance. So I'm intending to do some videos showing some of the stuff about how that was done, or how that's accomplished.
Can you describe what SharePoint is?
Yes. Thanks for asking.
We had it where I last worked, but I was not on the computer end of things there.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. Because I've been confused about that for a while, and it's only been because of this client I decided, you know what, I really need to get to a level of understanding that. I think a lot of people watching this video have an awareness of what OneDrive is. And OneDrive is a kind of a version of SharePoint. I think it's fair to say that OneDrive is kind of a subset of SharePoint. If you're poking around in your OneDrive account and look up at the URL, you'll see the word SharePoint. So OneDrive actually utilizes SharePoint. Now I'm going to see if I can bring that up and actually demonstrate that. Let me poke around here on my computer number 2 and go. I did a right click on my OneDrive icon and then said view online. Somewhere along here, you know what? That OneDrive is a personal OneDrive, so I don't think it will show SharePoint. When I'm looking up, I think it's when I'm poking around on OneDrive for a business Microsoft 365 account that the URL shows SharePoint. OneDrive by default is a personal storage area, and you can share that to other people within your organization. SharePoint by default is shared to everybody in your organization, and you can restrict who has access to it. So they're both just basically a cloud-based storage system. So I started out with the server for this client by creating an account for the server, and I copied a folder from their normal shared stored files into the OneDrive area for that server, and then experimented with accessing it from other users. And then I did the same thing using SharePoint. And so essentially what you do is you go to the Microsoft 365, and I think I will be able to create videos demonstrating the procedure. Is you go to the Microsoft 365 admin account, click on a shared drive icon, and you can create a SharePoint, which is essentially a shared folder, just like creating a shared folder on a server. And then you can specify who can have access to that. And then those people can have access to that from their computers, and it actually creates another OneDrive folder on their computer. And you can right click and say keep files on this computer so that they can actually access those files when they're offline. They're not even connected. Now that's kind of an off the top of my head discussion of SharePoint versus OneDrive, but it's very, very similar in concept. It's just that SharePoint starts out as an intention to share with everybody in your organization. OneDrive starts out from the perspective of being your own cloud storage of files.
So this lets your client, say from the law office, log in directly from home without logging in remotely to the law office server.
That's right. They don't have to connect remotely to the law office service. They don't have to connect remotely to their workstation in the office. Currently what they're doing is they each have a LogMeIn account. And so from their home computer, they would log into their office computer, and then they could access the files that are stored on the server through the mapped S drive. I think we use the letter S in their office. Not that that matters. And that gets them to the files that are stored on the server. Now, one downside to doing this is I created the SharePoint in Microsoft 365 admin console, but I could not configure that SharePoint to use that shared folder that already exists on the server. The best that I could get to was to give that server access to that SharePoint folder in the cloud. And that caused a OneDrive folder on the server. And now I'm having to synchronize between two different folders on the server. So the server actually has 2 copies of all the files right now. And that's kind of a nuisance. That feels really cumbersome way to describe it, but I'm going to have to show that on video, and I'm not really prepared to do that right now. Let's go catch up with chat. There's a few other comments in here. Gary said to Harambe and to me, I set up Windows 11. It is faster. I've had no problems with it. We have been told by Microsoft the Windows will come out to the public 10/24/21 at 11:11 a.m. Yeah, 11:11 because of Windows 11. And October 24th. That doesn't really correspond to the number 11 in any way that I can tell. And comes out to the public. So what does come out to the public mean? Because I thought it was going to first come out on pre-manufactured machines. This kind of implies that the public would be able to upgrade to it. And Alan says hello. Hello, Alan. And Chris says hello. And Chris says that's not Bertland. Yeah, I haven't heard from Bertland today. He's been a no-show, which is quite okay. And he has no obligation to be here, but I sent an email to him this morning and didn't get any response. And then Gary says, with Windows 11, I've had some hardware errors on USB that were caught, but Windows on USB that were caught, but Win 11. And up here, he says he's had no problems with it. And then here he says he did have problems with it. Well, that's one of the things on my mind is the testers, the insiders that are testing it. They're testing it within whatever limitations that's not actual real use by end users yet. And I know that I've heard particularly from Windows Weekly that they've been sending out massive amounts of fixes and patches on Windows 11. And Gary says, yes, this is Bertland. So I guess, Jeff, you're playing the role of Bertland right now. And to remind people who didn't catch earlier, this is Jeff Ryman, who's been frequently in chat, who's on screen with me. And he's on screen with me because Bertland didn't show up, and I put out the credentials for the Zoom session towards the beginning of chat, about 3 minutes after the start of the show. And anyone is welcome to jump in and say hello if you'd like to. Gary says SharePoint is on a server here and manage content, knowledge, and applications to empower a work team, quickly find information, and seamlessly collaborate across the organization. Gary, that sounds like that came straight out of Microsoft's PR department. That is worded so PR-like. Empower teamwork. Yeah, that's a buzzword. That's chit chat. Obviously, I'm late. Have I missed much? Well, yes and no. You'll have to go back and rewatch and decide if you think it's worthwhile. Savid Manoa says, can you map the OneDrive in the server? I was contemplating doing that, trying that, and I haven't tried it yet. So on the server, there's a OneDrive folder, and can I share that to the local network and let the workstations on the local network map a drive letter to that share? I'm very interested in doing that. I'm thinking we may wind up doing that. However, the alternative that might be, well, I was going to say might be smarter, but maybe not. So the alternative is instead of mapping a drive letter to that SharePoint folder on the server, I could just reconfigure the workstations in the office to directly access the files from the cloud, from SharePoint in the cloud, and have them stop using the server. Why do we need them on the server at all? The answer to that is that when they're in the office, if they lose internet connectivity, they could still access the files from the server. How important is that? These days, seriously, it's how many people in that office? The attorney, 2 legal assistants, an interpreter, and sometimes they have a 5th. So 5 people, and usually not more than 1 or 2 of them in the office at the same time. Most of them are doing their work seriously from home. So would they ever care about being in the office and being able to access to the server if the internet is down long term? I just don't think that's much to need a protection from. Now, it is a form of backup, but then I have to keep up the synchronization. Right now, I'm using a software program called Handy Backup in its synchronization mode, and it just periodically synchronizes between those folders. And that's not a good long-term solution. But sharing OneDrive on the server, letting the workstations map to that, I'm really feeling attracted to that. I'm probably going to at least try it, at least test it. Let's see, that's chit chat. Waiting, the neighbor stopped over. Amazon called, way behind. So I guess Ken's been out for a while. Hurricane that's close to Jamaica. I was thinking that I was hearing that. That could be something that's going on for him. DVR mode engaged at twice speed. Jim's trying to catch up. Good for you, Jim. And let's see. Gary says, no pre-manufactured first, but no date. That's got to be in response to something. What is that? What's he referring to? Do you know what that is, Jeff?
Nope.
No Oh, I know what it is. When I was saying that the pre-manufactured computers, I thought they were going to come out first with Windows 11. So he's saying, I guess, no See, I could say this 2 different ways. He might be responding, no, that Windows 11 is not going to be available to the general public. No, pre-manufactured first, but no date. Yeah. Or he could be saying, no pre-manufactured first, but no date. I don't know. Sometimes reading is really difficult. Tavi Manor says, also for backup. Yeah, I think he's referring there to them mapping OneDrive on the server. Yeah.
Let me ask you one more question here.
Go ahead.
The SharePoint, so it's running on a Microsoft server someplace and not on the law office server.
Right. That's happening out in the cloud.
All right. Like our OneDrives.
Just like OneDrive. Mm-hmm. And it can be fully, synchronized on the local server so that the files are there, because just like on your computer with OneDrive, you have that option that says keep files on this computer, so that you always have a full copy of everything you have on OneDrive on your computer. As opposed to some of my computers don't have large enough hard drives for that. So I don't have that setting on those computers. Anytime I try to access a file, it's immediately downloaded.
I think I confused myself. The last company I worked for used SharePoint, and I had gotten the notion there that it was on a company server someplace.
Yeah.
That's been like 8 years ago. So.
Yeah. Well, now let me. SharePoint, I believe, existed before Microsoft 365 existed, and I think there were Microsoft Exchange servers that could host SharePoint. Yeah. So I think SharePoint has a history of being housed in a local server, and I'm suspecting Gary could confirm that, because That's certainly his area. So let's see, Gary saying, with Windows 11, I've had some hardware virus errors on USB that were caught by Windows 11. Oh, that's interesting. With Windows 11, I've had some hardware virus errors. I don't know what a hardware virus error is. Viruses are software. Yeah, on USB that were caught by Windows 11. Hell, I don't know what that is. Javi says this will be a local backup. And I think maybe they're referring to keep files on this PC, that choice. Now, and actually on one of my laptops, I have a particular folder that say keep files on this laptop, on this PC, because I take it out to client offices and it has my client data files, and I need those on this computer that I'm out at their offices with. I don't need all the rest of the stuff that I have on OneDrive. Chris says pre-manufacturers will be first, but no date. So they don't have a date set for pre-manufactured computers to have Windows 11. And he is saying that they will be first. Well, how does that square with what was said up here about October 24th at 11:11? That sounded like Gary was telling us that Windows is going to release it to the public, which means that's not first. Oh, good. Somebody just giving me an update on a local neighborhood issue. Where am I at here? Chris says, right now I plan on keeping Windows 10. Ever heard if it ain't broke, don't fix it? I'm there with you, Chris. I'm not particularly eager to have Windows 11. It's just not anything that much it's going to do for me. Gary says, I'm using Windows 11 at work in production. I'm using VMware Linux 11 for programming and Office Daily and connecting to servers. Thank you for your service, Gary. You're helping to find all the troubles before the rest of us are get onboarded to it. Hey, I'm inclined to think my Windows 11 is probably going to be on new computers for me, because this computer won't do it, and I don't think either of these two will. No sense of adventure, and I think that's referring to Windows 11. It just doesn't feel like that much of even an adventure. Hardware virus, Chris is laughing at that. Not saying I want to try it out. No need to change. Not saying I want to try it out. And Chris says he was clarifying what Gary said. So that would have been about he was clarifying, saying that, that it was pre-manufactured computers coming out first. That's my understanding. Blackwatch is here. Hi, Blackwatch. Yours is the voice of sanity in this mad sea of Windows 11. All right, they were caught up. So for those of you who haven't deduced it yet and came in late, this is Jeff Ryman with me on Zoom, because Bertland apparently wasn't able to join us today. I haven't heard back from him, and I think there are weather issues in Jamaica. Somebody else mentioned that in chat, so I hope he's okay. And I had a script prepared for today of subjects that I could make mention of, and I've got through several of those, and I see let's see. No, I didn't go to Ryan's laptop was the one that came to me, and we did a live stream on it. Said that he said he had to shake it to get it to boot up, and he demonstrated that to me when I went to pick it up with him. He opened the lid, pressed the power button. It would not boot until he shook it, And when I got it here, I tried to demonstrate on live stream, and I couldn't replicate that symptom. It kept turning on for me over and over. And in fact, the live stream that I did from the cabin of the what I called the extortion scam, the girl that was trying to scam me on text messaging or Facebook. Text messaging, I think it was. That was on his laptop. I was doing that on. And I could never get it to foul up. Yesterday, he asked me for an update by text, or 2 days ago, and I told him I couldn't get it to replicate the symptoms, so I delivered it back to him yesterday. So really nothing else to say about his laptop. Let's see what we got else coming up here. Jim says can't stay long. Family function 2 at 10, 5:30, maybe next weekend. I'll annoy by joining the Zoom. Oh, Jim might join us. Great, on Zoom next week. And I kind of suspect the way Bertland was sounding, he's kind of on track now. You know, he's got his plan for creating this recurring educational content for teachers in the school systems. And he's kind of on a course. And the last time that we did have an email exchange in preparation for a session that we wound up canceling, we kind of suggested that maybe we're going to evolve to just general conversations and perhaps inviting other people in Zoom. I think it would be a good thing for him to keep checking in with us to let us know how it's going, but I don't think he's going to have an hour worth of content because he's on track now. Let's see what we got here. Gary said, I tried to write to a USB drive Windows 11 stop. So Windows 11 had some kind of, I think that's what he was referring to, a hardware virus with meaning that Windows 11 stopped him maybe with a virus message in regards to that. Blackwatch, I guess to you, Jeff. He's saying, hello, this is me, and Jeff, this is me. Gary, that storm is way north of Jamaica now. Okay, but could it have done some damage that there might be consequences? Gary's saying pre-made Windows 11 first, then public. Okay, so pre-made computers. There's another month. That's kind of late in October. Yeah, it's almost 2 months. So pre-manufactured computers have, I think this is implying that they're likely to come out before October 24th. Boy, I just got a major crick in my neck. I think we're going to wrap this up pretty soon here. We've been a little over an hour, just in basic chit chat. And then Chris to Gary, I see on Dell's site you can already order a system with Windows 11, but the way things are now, it may be slow getting them out. And Jeff, that I mentioned Chrome earlier, it's based on Gen 2 Linux, according to Wikipedia. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I found some instructions for how to do that. And I'm thinking that I'll likely do that as not as a live stream, but as a tutorial video, because there's going to be several processing times and I'll need to, read up and really try to grasp what I'm doing. So it's probably going to be a recorded video and maybe need some editing. And I think I'm needing to do that pretty soon. Pre-order it. If anyone wants to try Windows 11 and get the ISO from Microsoft without signing into Insider. Oh, that's interesting. And why I just got here. He's asking why I'm about to end. He just got here. Yeah, you're right, Blackwatch. That's why. we're ending because you just got here. No, I'm kidding. Of course not. I think I'm ready to go ahead and wrap that up. You have any final words, Jeff?
Nope. I'm just going to sign off Zoom here.
Yep, go ahead and sign off Zoom, and I'll just do a final goodbye, and we're done. Here's back to my screen. I'll even bring up my email address. The reason for my email address is if you want to request a session for whatever topic that you want to do. I don't really want to get into any in-depth tech support over email, because the whole idea behind my channel is videos, creating videos, not and in that arena, free tech support. Now I just see one other thing that I do need to hit, because Darren Gilholm is saying here you need 4 subscribers to equal 1,000. So I'd like to go ahead and document that right now, where this channel is at. Gary says we have a full business of Dells and we order more. They would not say when we could get them. I told you nobody likes me, sigh. That's not true, Blackwatch, but I understand. So let's go over here to playlist, my dashboard. I'm going to document this in this video. We're at 995 subscribers. So when I get to 1,000, that means I'm qualified for monetization. It doesn't mean monetization happens right then. And this one at the planning retreat, it was number 1 out of 10 for a long time, which makes it show fireworks on this screen. But then the troubleshooting of Windows logon failure outstripped that. And 7.3% click-through rate is a good rate. The other thing I want to show here is I'll go to monetization. And so here, this one that's in green, I had to reach 4,000 watch hours. Well, I'm at 11,500 watch hours, so that went green a long time ago. And I'm at 995 subscribers. I need 1,000 to be qualified to meet the criteria for monetization. It doesn't make it happen right then. It just essentially is kind of like, I don't know, I can apply for it, I guess. So that's it for today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.